Get ready. It's time for the Me and Jesse podcast with Mark Pavelich and Jesse Martineau. Get ready. It's time for the Me and Jesse podcast with Mark Pavelich.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Me and Jesse podcast. My name is Mark Pavelich, and across the way in the Grove, the big sexy, the one and only Mr. Jesse Martineau.
Well, thank you so much. How's it going over there?
Well, we've had immense amount of technical difficulties today. And can I just say it once and for all, hashtag this, everybody, fuck Facebook, okay? That's what I want to say today. I can't stand it anymore, man. Jesse, I'm telling you, there's going to come a time in my life where I'm going to call it an end. I'm going to be on Twitter and Instagram if you want to find me in the future, and that's going to be the end-all of end-all with me, because I'm telling you, man, I think Facebook, my original account, has been hacked. I literally had 5,000 friends. I had, millions of photos, everything gone. No attempt at all for them to, I of course, I sent them my driver's license. I sent them everything. I sent them a picture of my passport. Nothing back. Yeah. In fact, my original account at Mark Pavelich, can't even get access into that today. So Mark Zuckerberg, you geek. I can't stand you anyway. So you're a crook. You stole Facebook right from the beginning, right from the two guys. We saw the show, right? So the end all that. I don't care, man. And I see you're taking Brazilian jiu-jitsu now. Let me tell you something. I'm almost 55 years old. I'll toss a gi on and choke you out unconscious 4 ways from Sunday. I haven't rolled in 5 years, and I will take you down and choke you unconscious. Everybody knows once I get you on the ground, once I put the choke in, there's no way you're coming out of it, and I will kiss you on the ear before I choke you.
Let's be real. He doesn't want to stand up.
No, you nuts, man.
Yeah,
I can still knock out.
Give him the best option he can. You lay on your back. He can get into full mount, and then you.
Yeah,
start
that's
from
fair.
there.
That would be fair. And listen, let me explain this to everybody. I'm almost 55 years old. I would kick the shit out of Mark Zuckerberg 4 ways from Sunday. And I'm telling you, I see him now. He's hanging out at the UFC. I see him now. He's hanging out, like all this stuff. It drives me nuts now. Everybody's a tough guy, Jesse.
Oh,
everybody's a tough guy now. And it drives me nuts. Jesse, you know what? You've done more sparring. You personally have done more stand-up sparring than 98% of anybody teaching martial arts in today's world. You know that, right?
It's crazy, actually.
Yeah, it's true.
It's funny when you watch old shows about when knights and swords and shit.
Yeah.
They always talked about the guys that were knights that had never seen combat. Like they were B level. Still a knight.
Yeah.
Never seen actual combat.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the thing is that, how quickly do your belt colors drop up when you get punched square in the face?
Yeah, but you look at it now, Jesse, like everybody's hanging around now. Oh, I'm going to be hanging around at the UFC, and Mark Zuckerberg is sitting in the front row. Like, he just became a tough guy because he took a few jiu-jitsu classes.
Well,
and
that's I agree. It's funny because that's the thing. Like, I remember thinking that about Joe Rogan back in the day.
Joe's legit, though.
But Joe's legit. Like, Joe actually did something. Like, he did the work. So, in 10 years, we come back to see Mark, and he's actually done the work. Maybe the story will be different, but I have a feeling that it'll be the same story as today.
Because you have to understand the comfort zone part. This is what I've been talking about with people lately about comfort zone. You know what I've done, Jesse? I've relieved myself of the comfort zone. I have now, let alone that I took up hiking to a ridiculous level, okay, in the hiking world, that people are calling me about hiking. And then you know what else now I've done, Jesse? Because I've taken to another level, cold plunging. I've been cold plunging 4 times a week, ice baths, and I've been
Wim Hof.
That pussy too. I'm going to teach him a lesson too. I'm going to teach that pussy a lesson too as well.
What did he do to you?
No, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go off today because I'm telling you, man. You know what? I read the thing that you should be cold plunging for 5 to 7 minutes. I'm like, no, I'm not even going to get ready for that. You know why? Because that's bullshit. I'm like 5 to 7 minutes. Like the preparation to get ready for all this, I'm going to sit there for 5 to 7 minutes. My minimum is 15 minutes. My minimum is 15 minutes. I go to 30 minutes usually. And what I'm trying to explain to people is, you know, you've never seen me talk like this on the show ever. In all the years we've done shows, I've had it up to here. No one can out hike me. No one can out bat like
Laval Saint Germain.
But there's a real
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Amen.
This is what you're saying. You're saying
Amen.
There's too many. Remember the old word, posers. There's too many posers.
Has to come back, Jesse.
It's happening everywhere. It's happening in sports across the board. Posers.
Listen, you don't see me sit around saying, oh, I could play NFL football. You don't see me sitting around, I could do that. No. I'm trying to explain to you about mental fortitude. You had to pull out a guy like Laval Saint Germain to shut me up. And you know why? Because Laval Saint Germain is the only human being from Canada to hike Mount Everest without oxygen.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Laval Saint Germain is that guy. He's that guy. He's that guy that he's in the club. I'm in his club. You understand that? I'm in Laval's club because Laval, his next feat that he's going to do, he's going to probably do something crazy in a desert, as he explained to us. But let's not forget about Laval Saint Germain's fortitude to row across the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. All you bullshitters on internet that are sitting there telling everybody about how you did this and you can do this. And, you know, I started doing cold plunging because I saw people saying, oh, like doing a half hour, doing whatever. No, man. No, I did it all already. I'm going to do more. I'm going to take it to the extreme, of course, like I do with everything, just to show people. And I haven't been showing people on the internet me doing it. I kind of announced that I was doing it, but I'm going to start showing people about like what real mental fortitude is about. Cause that's one thing I know I have. One thing, I have zero athleticism, zero. If I had any athleticism, I would have been a professional athlete 50 times over because anything mentally, like Everest and Edmonton, cold plunging, hiking long distances. This is stuff I could physically do at 55 years old. What I'm trying to tell you is I've had it up to here watching people just like Mark Zuckerberg on television now hanging out with Dana White. Like he's like a tough guy all of a sudden. It's like, shut up, man. You're not a tough guy. I'm going to give you a slap if you think you are a tough guy. And I've had it up to here. But you know what else I've had it up to here too with? Russell Wilson.
Oh boy.
And I'll
good
tell
old
you,
Russ.
No, and I'm telling you right now, you know what? I'm telling you about Russell Wilson because Jesse, he was the man in Seattle. Okay?
Yes, absolutely.
But Jesse, what the hell is going on with Russell Wilson right now in Denver? And I'm telling you, he's going to be exposed tonight. Like tonight on Monday Night Football, he is going to get exposed. Jesse, what the hell's going on?
Are you
Russell
predicting
Wilson?
a Raiders win?
When? Well, no, they're not playing them. They already beat them.
Oh, right.
They already beat them. We already beat them. Raiders are 1-4. Talk about a team that has no sense of urgency right now. Is my beloved Las Vegas.
Who did they
Raiders.
play yesterday?
No, they had a bye week.
Oh, they're on the bye. That's what I thought.
They're on the bye. That's right. People get confused by that because you're like all over. But I'm telling you, Russell Wilson right now, let alone it could easily be the worst rated quarterback in the NFL. I'm less. Well, he got hurt. I'm less mad at Derek Carr right now.
If I'm a Broncos fan, I'm livid. Oh, if I'm a Broncos fan, I'm like, okay, well, this is ridiculous.
You were sold a bill of goods. You need to get your money back.
Oh, you were sold the Super Bowl is what you were sold. That was it. That you were sold the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Pretty much a guarantee.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll, and I said this before. Pete Carroll looks like a freaking genius now.
He is.
Somehow he cashed in on Russell Wilson. He cashed in. And now he's got Geno Smith.
He milked him.
To be good.
Yeah.
That's two sentences that's two words that shouldn't have ever gone together because Geno Smith and good aren't synonymous with one another. Right. It's like if you were making a joke over the last number of years, you could say, oh, we could get Geno Smith as your quarterback. Ha, 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 ha. Like, that's how bad Geno Smith was.
But for you to even say on our podcast, say that Geno Smith is getting good because of Pete Carroll.
The Arizona Cardinals yesterday.
That is bananas. Like, even you admitting it today on the podcast is more surreal. Like, did you ever think in all the years we've been doing podcasts, Jesse Martineau? Jesse, what's your middle name? Jesse Lee Martineau. Okay. Did you ever think in your entire life that you would have said on this podcast that Geno Smith is good?
Never. I never think that would be something that would be, said in alternate parallel universes, because Geno Smith sucks most of the time.
Not anymore, my
friend.
But
now Pete Carroll has somehow pressed more gold.
He has done
honestly, why not just send everybody to Pete Carroll? Because Pete Carroll's turning everybody into superstars. The thing is that how do the, either the Cardinals are really bad or
they're not.
I don't think they are either. I don't think they are. Like, I actually think the Cardinals are good, and Kyler Murray is amazing. But all of a sudden you get this motley crew of guys, and it's almost like Pete Carroll needs that underdog mentality.
I don't know how he does it, Jesse. There's something that he's doing there, and I'm like just.
But think about all the times. Think about the times that they've been great. It's because everyone said they couldn't. Everyone said they would suck, and he's like, "Well, you know what? I'm Pete Carroll, and I'm going to make this team awesome." And he did. Every time someone said it,
he did.
Matt, there's guys like, it's hard to believe what's happening here.
Yeah.
Like, the Hawks are in contention for the division.
They are.
Everyone thought they'd be 0-5 by now.
Yes.
Let's be real. They thought they'd be 0-5.
You thought they'd be 1-4 by now.
I think 1-4-5. Like, I was thinking, this is gonna. If we get 6 wins, it's gonna be amazing.
They're in the mix.
They're in the mix. It is. I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand what's happening in Denver. I don't understand why it seems like you solved the problems from last year. All the coaching staff that was there is gone. You blame then the quarterback. So you got a new franchise superstar, Hall of Fame quarterback.
Put the tag.
You got one of the best. Now he's hurt, so that hurts. One of the best new running backs in the game. But you have an amazing receiver core. You had an incredible O-line. You have a great defense, and nothing is working. Nothing is coming together. Nothing is.
They're gonna get. Listen, I'm telling you right now. Tune in next week too, because I'm gonna tell you right now. They're gonna get destroyed tonight on Monday Night Football. They are going to get murdered tonight on Monday Night Football. I'm telling you right now. There's no solution that's going to come. Like, when I saw the Raiders dismantle them, and I think the Raiders are basically a deep back and a great quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl. So that's the problem there. But when you start to have empathy for Derek Carr after watching Russell Wilson, there's a problem.
Well, no, I don't have empathy, and you shouldn't either. Being a Raiders fan, shouldn't have empathy for him. Because
I'm having empathy for Derek Carr, meaning that's how bad Russell Wilson is. And my friends that are all Denver fans, which I have quite a few that are, I actually, even though I hate Denver, I feel bad for you, because I think you've been sold a bill of goods that you need to get a refund on. That it's false advertising. Russell Wilson came and. Something's not there's something really not right, and I'm telling you, on Monday Night Football, he's going to get murdered tonight. Murdered.
Yeah, and he's been hurt, so okay, well maybe that's it. But there's been other people that have struggled in Colorado, and it's not just them. I don't understand truly what's happening, because on paper, still, everyone is expecting. Everyone's expecting something to change here. Everyone's expecting the week that, okay, here they are. They've showed up. But, week 6 is about to take place for them, and nothing's happened yet. Nothing.
Crazy.
I don't understand at all. I don't get it. But how about those Eagles?
Who in the right mind would have woke up today on Monday and said, the Eagles were going to be 6-0.
Yeah, who's going to predict that?
Nobody.
Hey, week 6, Eagles are 6-0, guys. Are you kidding me? What is going on there? How about the Giants at 5-1?
Oh, come on, man. What about the Jets? Even the Jets. The Jets.
Well, the Jets, I actually do think that they have they could start trending up. Well, they've sucked so bad. They're 4-2. I get it.
4-2.
I get it.
I couldn't, like, no one. Between the Jets, Philadelphia, it's like, what? Are you serious? But it's happening. And
well, I'll tell you what.
Now, but look what's happening in Tampa now. Reality has set in. Reality.
Yes.
Their team looks horrific. Listen, the great Tom Brady, arguably, no question, he's the GOAT of GOATs. But you know what happens? Like a great prize fighter, they go too long. You know what I mean? Gosh. They go too long.
Yeah. Tyson talked about that when we saw him, right? When we talked to Tyson, he said that very thing. He realized that he's like, hey, there was a time, and I shouldn't have done it.
What about Muhammad Ali? Muhammad Ali, we are
100%.
Greatest of all
100%
time. Of all time. But then he takes fights with people like Leon Spinks and all these people at the end, and it's like he just looked horrible. And it's like, why? You're the greatest.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady is starting to look like Muhammad Ali. He's starting to look like that. And like you shouldn't have played this year.
The fortunate thing for them is that they have an easy division. So being 3-3 doesn't really matter.
It's not that though, Jesse. Look at his touchdown ratios this year.
I get it, but the thing is, you get this guy into the playoffs. No, it's not. You get this guy into the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's dangerous. That's the thing. Like, I think they can I think they can win the division still.
I think no one's taking him serious anymore. And I think.
No, I think. Yeah, I don't.
This is not Tom Brady. This is not Tom Brady. Like the way he's talking right now, you've never seen him talk like this in the history of him playing football. About
how much do you think the personal life does, though? How much do you think that adds in?
I think it has 75% to do with it. I think 75%. Oh, what are you talking about? I'm running a football team, and all of a sudden I don't have this receiver anymore or this receiver, and then all of a sudden my wife's moving out. They're talking about divorce court. They're talking about divorce lawyers, and you got to function in the NFL? Are you crazy, man? This is you understand this is Mr. America. This is Mr. NFL. This is the GOAT. Now the GOAT is the GOAT, but now he's going to be the divorce GOAT. You know, this was the guy that had his shit in check always. Listen, man, I am not throwing dirt on this guy, okay? I am literally I have empathy for him when it comes to him and his relationship, but you can clearly see there's something majorly wrong with him.
Oh, absolutely.
Mentally.
Yeah, I know. I would 100% agree with that. I do think that. We'll see what happens with that. But this year, one thing I'll say about the NFL is that you never know what's going to happen. And any given Sunday term is so true. I mean, the parity right now, there is 3 out of the divisions are ones that have people in it. The rest are all the top guys are 3-3. Like it.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen now. Every week now is so important.
And you know what's crazy?
You have
my division's even comical. Raiders are 1-4, and I thought the season was over, and then I started to think, no, we just beat Denver, and then I'm like, oh, we almost beat KC, and we play KC.
Yeah,
again.
if you could beat KC and the Chargers once more,
that's right. And
then you're back in. And that's the thing. Like I said, your first 5 weeks are going to suck. I think the next ones you're going to do all right. Now, Bills 5-1. They got the Jets right behind them at 4-2. The Chiefs 4-2. That's crazy. Like everyone thought they'd be 6-0 if anyone.
Yeah.
Chargers 3-2 is still, I don't think that was expected. They had some injuries and stuff, but whatever. Yep. Broncos obviously. Again, everyone thought that division would have maybe 4 losses across the division by this point. I said more because I thought the Raiders would have 4 of those losses, and.
You don't see me talking shit, do you?
No, but I predicted it. You always say to me, Jesse, you know what? Your predictions are always right. And
they are.
And you said, so that was my prediction. I said they'd have 4 losses.
But you know what the crazy part is? I finally realized something with the Raiders. It's not you have to take something away from somebody, but the trick is now you have to get rid of the ownership group. You have to, the ownership group.
It's that level now.
Yeah, it's that level now. The ownership group has to get out of there. And I'm going to say this on the podcast for the first time ever. I know who has to take over. Dana White needs to get his cartel together.
You're not going to say this right now.
Dana White needs to get his cartel together. Okay, get the cartel together with Dana White and about 4 to 5 to 6 other guys that put the money in, and they run that circle. And that's who needs to run the Raiders, because he runs Las Vegas. So you need him to do that in Las Vegas, because the Davis family is dead. That Al Davis was one of the greats of all time. He's rolling in his grave right now, watching his imbecile son run the Raiders. And great, you made a great stadium, whatever. But have you ever seen a team that's 1-4 where you have never heard the owner say one word? He hasn't said anything. There's no sense of urgency. No one's panicking. At 1-4 in the NFL, you need to panic. You do, and it's okay. And there has to be a sense of urgency. Or you might have wanted to heard from the owner by now, saying something about like what's going on with the team. You've heard zero. You've heard absolutely zero from him. And I'm telling you, the ownership group needs to change. Now, the price tag on it's going to be gigantic. But at the same time is the great Al Davis is rolling in his grave right as we speak, because his son's a buffoon. Look at his haircut. Look at his haircut. Jesus.
Wow, Davis's haircut sucked too. But
yeah, but his son, I mean, come on. It's disgraceful.
Well, the Ballon d'Or was handed out today. If you don't know what that is, it's the greatest footballer / soccer of the year. And it is turned old. Well,
it's turned old by 30. What is it? 34, 36. That's old now, right? So that's super old.
Karim Benzema.
Yeah.
Takes the trophy, which okay, like if you don't follow football, it was France striker.
Real Madrid. He plays for Real Madrid.
And yeah, he actually got left off the France national team.
Crazy
for the World. Yeah, because he's had some ups and downs with his attitude. So they kind of like said, "Screw you." So but then he goes back on and whatever and does great, and everyone's like, "Okay, maybe this is it." And finally, like, because he's had such great potential for years and years and years. Finally does it, and again, not having Messi around there and Ronaldo, obviously,
correct.
Although Ronaldo's still in the top 20 for ratings,
but he is.
Yeah, it's crazy, but finally, and rightly so, Benzema goes there. He scored 44 goals in 46 games.
Yeah, 44 goals in 46 games.
Yeah. So hey, that's awesome. But what's really cool is that the World Cup's starting soon.
Yes.
Who do you like?
I like Croatia. What else do I like?
I can't believe you. I can't believe this.
No, you can argue.
No, listen. No, I'm going to tell you this right now. In your backyard, and I've been there back there. Mm-hmm. I've golfed there.
I've got a hold of one there.
We've had many activities back there. Yes. Some can be mentioned, some cannot be. There's a fire pit at the back with a very nice, prestigious flagpole. Yeah. What's on that flagpole?
Canadian and Croatian flag.
Okay, now answer me this question.
Yes.
On the top of that flagpole, the top flag, what flag is that?
Canadian.
Okay, and below that one is the Croatian.
Yeah, but that's the protocol in the country. You have to.
Now, but what about now? When you're ranking your teams, now Canada's made the World Cup finally, which is a big deal. Hey, they legitimately made the World Cup. Mind blowing. In your backyard, the flags rank number 1 Canada, number 2 Croatia.
Has to. That's protocol. And when you're in the country, you have to put their flag first.
You being in the country that you live in now.
Oh, I love with all my heart.
Where do you rank Canada and Croatia?
I want Croatia to destroy Canada. I want them to score 10 goals to 0. Listen, let me explain soccer to people once and for all. So you can get this through everybody's head. I love Canada with all my heart. Okay. We have the biggest buffoon on the planet running the country still. But I still love this country with all my heart. But you know what the crazy part is that people need to start understanding? Soccer is a game of suffering. You need to suffer. So I want Canada to come the first year, like it's been forever since they've been in the World Cup. I want them to not even score a goal or two, whatever, but not against Croatia. And then I want them to come back in a few years and make it again and get a little farther along and suffer like Croatia suffered. A country of 4.5 million people, right? That's how big my Croatia is. Now, am I a proud Canadian? 100%. Do I call myself Canadian first? I do. I am. But this isn't hockey. This isn't basketball. This is soccer. This is different. This is what Croatia hangs their hat on. The country where my mother comes from and my father and my ancestors come from. We hang our hat on this. You understand that? This is soccer. You understand? This isn't.
What about hockey then? What if Croatia had a hockey team that? And they have had it.
Watch this. Easy question. I go for Canada 1,000,000%.
How does that make sense?
I want Canada to bury Croatia in hockey. I want them to destroy them. See, this is what people don't understand. It's our sport, Canada. It's our sport, the country's sport. Croatia, this is all we have. We have this water polo, handball. I mean, we're a small country, man. And what I'm trying to tell you is, and when I saw them both in the same division, it broke my heart. I didn't want to see that.
But we're
here now. We're here now.
And you're going to be wearing Croatia.
1,000%. Well, you want me to lie to our fans?
No, I want you to tell the truth. I'm flabbergasted. It's not a word I use often.
But it's I'm not going to lie to people. It's like, listen, I'm a proud Canadian through and through, but when it comes to soccer, I have to draw a line somewhere. And I'm not going to listen, do I want Canada to beat every other team in the division? I sure do, but not Croatia. No way.
Wow. No way. I think you should swap those flags on the pole around.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't make sense.
No, in Canada, you don't do that. It's disrespectful to the country.
Okay, fine. We'll let it slide, I guess.
Well, we have no choice. We have no choice.
NHL season started.
Yeah. Red Wings 2-0.
Who else is 2-0?
Oh, I think I don't know, but I know Calgary's 1-1. Oilers 1-1.
Calgary's 2-0.
2-0, are they? Yeah.
Yeah, they beat the Avalanche that game.
That's right.
They had two. That's a rough start to the season. Let's be real.
And then the Oilers
play Colorado and then the Oilers. That sucks.
Yeah. I think the Oilers are going to be big trouble this year. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking that they were doing it right.
No, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be really good. They're gonna be big trouble. They're gonna be big trouble.
Big trouble, not in big trouble.
No. They're But I really like this goalie, but he's scaring me.
Yeah,
because
he let in three.
He let in 3 shitty goals the first game. He got pulled the second game,
yeah.
And I'm like, this is making me nervous because I thought he was the answer, and he still could be the answer.
This is it, Mark. This is what I've been saying.
Go.
The defense sucks.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
So it doesn't matter then.
It doesn't. Well, think about it. Like, okay, I get the shitty goal part, and that sucks, and that happens.
Yeah.
And that I think can get corrected because he is a good goaltender. But the chances are what's the problem. And there's so many chances for the other team. And that is a team defense thing. That to me is the problem. So, okay, let's say he does get, he doesn't let those bad goals in, but you can't give up that many chances and still expect, they're banking on scoring 5 goals a game, the Oilers. That's how they bank on it.
Correct.
Like, hey, we can score 5. And they can. They can put a 5 spot on you in a heartbeat. No question.
Yeah, they can.
But, as it goes on, there's teams you run into that don't do that.
They won't be 5 goals.
Again, like I think some people say, like, well, Edmonton's not really building for a regular season; they're building for a playoff team. It's like, well, you're going to run into the team that also did that too, and that could hurt, and that could backfire on you. And so, I think that it doesn't take much, but I think you just need another key defense guy, and you can actually figure it out. And also, why not get another key, third line forward that's defensive, like really defensive, and you can, then you're really actually you're good because those guys help train the rest of the team. And so I think that there's...
I don't think they got that though. I don't think they got that, and that's another problem.
Yeah, I think it's a team defense issue.
No, but they don't have a guy in the dressing room, or he just looks at you.
Well, that is a big thing.
See, you know what happens, right? There's a guy that comes in the dressing room once in a while that either he can talk or not talk. That's kind of up to him. But he's a guy that's already won 2 Stanley Cups, and he's won 2 Stanley Cups. And he looks at you, and when he sees the kid that he's there for 2 years, and he's kind of complaining and he's pissing and moaning, he can either look at you or say, "Hey, kid, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Because the coach can't do that. Coach can't, not in NHL anymore. Coach can't tell a player, hey, shut your mouth. Like, they don't listen, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell you is you need the player that's got the 2 Stanley Cup rings that goes, or even one, that looks at the kid and says, shut your mouth, man. I'm sick of listening to your shit. And you know what happens? The kid doesn't mouth back to that guy because he knows he's a veteran with a few Stanley Cup rings. He keeps his mouth shut. You know what happens? Oilers don't have that. Oilers don't have that guy that can look across the room at you and go, listen, I've been on the Nurse bandwagon from the beginning, okay, because he's so athletic. But you know what he's showing me? He's showing me that his IQ is not matching his athleticism because he's making stupid mistakes and he's getting into it with fourth liners and he's getting into, stupid things. I saw him do things. You know what? I'm still on his bandwagon, but he better clean up his mindset if he ever wants to win the Norris Trophy and the Stanley Cup at the same time, because you're watching him go down this road again where he gets distracted super easy. He doesn't, and you're like, why is he doing that? Right? Like Nick Lindstrom gave him the blueprint. Just do that because your athleticism is tenfold what Nick Lindstrom's was. So try to adopt the easy way to play defense. You know what I mean? Nothing fancy, right. Do those things and don't get caught up in like people are going to goad him all the time. And he bites. It's like, he's the perfect bait for Jesse Martineau when he goes fishing because he's always, always taking it. Yeah. And you're at the level now after all these years where you got to stop doing that if you want to win the Stanley Cup.
It is true. And I've been hard on Nurse the whole time because I think that being the number one isn't for him. I just don't think it's there.
I know. I know. Right now it doesn't look like it.
And I don't think I've ever seen it. So like how long do you wait? Because I think honestly the problem is I don't think you can get a number one guy that could be that right now, but a number 2, 3 guy.
2, 3. Yeah.
Maybe 2, 3 guys.
Yeah.
That you can start to trust being on the ice for longer. That's different. And again, I think they tried, but that Duncan Keith experiment failed because I think that's what they tried to do.
But you said it though.
I said it was the wrong guy. Yeah. He was not the reason they did what they did. It was Taves that was why Chicago did what they did. So, and not that Keith wasn't a big part of that. He was.
I hear that name though. I hear that name already starting to come out. I heard the name Taves coming.
Yeah, he might go somewhere.
They were talking about maybe not right away, but come All-Star break, come Christmas time, whatever, trade deadline, that Taves will end up in Edmonton. And I'm like, because
would be a guy that would absolutely solidify everything there.
Yeah, he's the guy that can come in your dressing room and people won't talk. People won't complain anymore.
And then the reality is you could put him on your second line and then you could put Draisaitl and McDavid back together. Like, I mean, hey, like that.
Listen, I gotta say this. I'm a gigantic Draisaitl fan. I think it's his German roots that I'm attracted to because they're just a gritty bunch of people, the Germans. And I had a great friend that was from Stuttgart, Germany. He passed away, but his name was Holger Hollmann. And he was just the greatest guy in the world. Rest in peace, Holger. He was just a great dude when I was growing up as a kid. But they had this kind of grit about them, and that's what Draisaitl's got. Once again, super underrated on the grand scheme of things. I take Draisaitl over Matthews any day of the week, like twice on Sundays. I think Draisaitl's IQ is much higher than even Connor McDavid.
Yeah,
I think Connor McDavid is like he's gifted. He has all these skills. Yes. He's going to be the goal scorer. He's going to do this. He's going to do this. But Draisaitl's IQ, much higher. Yeah. Much higher. He just doesn't have the speed like McDavid, right? But he's got enough speed.
I think Draisaitl could have a longer career than McDavid, to be honest.
I totally agree. I've always said that about McDavid. I think he skates too fast. I think he's going to end up like, those car crashes that you see in Formula 1.
Well, he did his rookie year. Remember, he went into the post
and that can
shoulder,
happen.
I think
easy.
it was. Yeah,
collarbone.
And then the end of the second season, he hurt his knee going into.
That's right.
The goalpost.
But the collarbone one was the worst one. Yeah. And then
the knee one was scary too because that was at the end of the season, so he had time to recover. But he's still
going
scary.
At a speed though. He's going at a speed, Jesse, where where they say speed kills. That's him, and that's what scares me about him because he is the greatest hockey player in the NHL. But I'm telling you, the speed he goes at sometimes, I look away because I'm like, it's that car crash. I personally don't want to see a guy hurt himself to that level from going too. I don't care what team he plays for. and I think that's McDavid. Like that's just he just goes so damn fast, and it's like, oh no, man, like someone
you gotta wonder like how long it takes for that speed to slow down. Like you wondered that. Like obviously, right now it doesn't seem like there's any sign of slowing, but there's got to be a day when it does happen.
Yeah, but you know what though? Even if it's okay, if he starts to deteriorate a little bit, he's still so much faster than everybody else in the NHL. And the difference is he's so much faster with the puck. So
yes. Well, that's what also, it is. He can do everything that fast with the puck.
But what does he do differently than everybody else is? He's the only guy I ever seen in the NHL that can actually stick handle the puck with his head up.
Well, yeah.
So that's something that you don't see by anybody anywhere. But the guy legitimately has his head up while he's stick handling the puck. That's something you don't.
Well,
see.
And be real, like he is 25, so you'll be 26.
But he's been playing a while. But he's been playing.
Oh yeah, he's been in since he was 18 for sure. 18, no question.
Yeah.
But 25, he's still got probably like 4 years before that speed drops. Like so. So like I mean, obviously he wants to get this. He wants to get the ring.
Stanley Cup is coming to Edmonton, Alberta, 2023. So
this year they're winning.
They're winning this year. The Edmonton Oilers are winning the Stanley Cup. 2023, the Stanley Cup will be in Edmonton, Alberta. They'll go right down the street, Main Street. They'll drive around the city. This town will be like elated. It'll be crazy because this is the team now where you're right, Jesse. You said something very important. When you get to the Stanley, when you get to that, they were literally this close last year with a team with a 42-year-old goalie, with the second best player in the NHL with one leg. There was a lot of missing pieces. And I thought, wow, they went pretty far with all these missing noticeable pieces. Now pieces are getting kind of filled in a little better. And then I think to myself, oh, these guys know now what level. Once you saw the Colorado team last year, we never seen hockey like that before. Since the beginning of NHL time, we have never, ever seen hockey at that level. Like the speed and the goaltending and the defense and the toughness and that was the best hockey I've ever seen in my life when I saw Colorado play. Like I have never seen.
Oh, they were on another level.
That's just a whole nother planet. Yeah. And what I'm trying to tell you is just like hockey, we've seen it many times. You got just like NBA basketball. You got to. I can name every series of everything where everybody's kind of like got that little taste, and you get that little taste, and you get closer. Oilers aren't going to go backwards. Oh, you think the Oilers are sitting around this year thinking, "Oh, we're going to make the playoffs"? Bullshit. Stanley Cup or bust.
Yeah, I don't think they were like that last year.
Yeah, Stanley Cup or bust. And Calgary, I give them full props because 6 months ago everybody was spitting on Calgary, and you really thought that someone fell asleep in the office in Calgary because you're like, what the hell's going on? No one's figuring those. We just lost our two best players, and we haven't filled the holes yet. And the people that they did just bring in, I'm like, there's somebody smart in Calgary because they brought people that you really needed to like cause havoc. And they beat the Oilers in their first game, and they didn't just beat them. They were up on them 4-1. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I remember the difference, I think, is because, let's be real, Gaudreau, as much as he improved his two-way game, by the way, Columbus is 0-3.
Yeah. Bing, bing, bing.
And to Chuck, but you bring in a guy like Huberdeau, that, a massive leader, knows how to play both sides of the puck. They solidify Uyghur again. They got that part of the deal too.
Look at Huberdeau coming in the dressing room, right? He's the guy. You're looking at him.
He's the man now.
And he tells one of the kids that are on the bench that's complaining or saying something stupid. He tells him to shut up.
For that boy.
Yeah.
And and he signed the deal. So the city now is with him. The city now says he's our man, and that's what I don't think anyone really felt with Johnny or even Matt Tkachuk. I love Tkachuk because I love those kind of players. But
don't forget this, Jesse. In the city of Calgary, it's different. City of Edmonton, it's different. You understand? Like I was at the coffee place having coffee with Martineau before their game against Calgary, And the kid walks in. What's his name? Hyman. Hyman walks in, sits at the counter. The girls all know his name. He knows all the girls' names at the coffee spot. Super nice to everybody. But you get what I'm talking about. See, in Edmonton, you're walking around. You know, people are talking to you. Even when you...
people know who you are.
But not just know who you are. Even if you lose, okay? Even if you lose, people aren't going to get on you. They're going to encourage you in Calgary. They're going to encourage you in Edmonton. Try that shit in Montreal. You lose in Montreal, the lady bagging your groceries is going to tell you what the hell's wrong with you. Start swearing at you in French. You know what I mean? I know Kurt Muller, and when I was talking to Kurt Muller back in the day, he told me he wouldn't even leave his house when they lost because people like the guy cleaning the garbage would be swearing at you in French. You know what I mean? So, and look at the Leafs now too. Let's not remember this. 1967, last time they won the cup. People were saying today, they were like, some of the Toronto announcers were saying, and you guys should basically be relieved of your position working at Sportsnet and TSN. If you say that Toronto Maple Leafs are number 2 or 3 to pick this year to win the Stanley Cup, let me explain this to you, Toronto Maple Leaf fans, once and for all. I'm not even going to trash talk you. 1967 was the last time you guys won the Stanley Cup. You know when the last time you got out of the first round of the playoffs were? 20 years ago. 20 years ago was the last time you got out of the first round. And you're talking about winning the Stanley Cup. Newsflash, everybody. That's not happening again this year. Listen, Toronto, I'm going to say this out loud. I'm okay with you guys breaking the curse, the Pavelich curse. I'm okay with you doing it, okay? But there's no way to short end this thing, okay? You guys didn't even get out of the first round last year. Now you're going to win the Stanley Cup. That's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. And you had to go through murderer's row last year. And it's going to be the same this year, right? So, you know, you're going through like a very difficult division, and that I know, but doesn't matter how difficult the division is when you got to win the Stanley Cup. You got to go through everybody.
It really is true. It really is. It is the toughest tournament to win.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, you know, I think that we've decided our new favorite platform. YouTube is the thing. So...
yeah,
we'll
like
share
we're gonna
share
this.
Facebook, but we're not gonna give them any more love.
No, we won't, Jesse. And me and you will figure this out over the next week or two. And I'm gonna figure some way to, like, people have been bugging me. meandjesse.com. I'm gonna get that up and running, and I'm gonna get our web girl from my marketing company. I'm gonna get her kind of behind it. We'll have sports blogs on there. We'll have, you know, updates on there. And I think that'll be the next stage for us with the Me and Jesse podcast. And then we'll explain that to advertisers when you want to come and advertise with the Me and Jesse podcast, as Crystal Glass does. Crystal Glass, the best glass company in Canada, over 70 years. Crystal Glass, your clear choice for all your glass needs. You go to crystalglass.ca or 310 Glass, and also Meathead Specialty and Seafood. Check them out to everybody as well. And I'm telling you right now, that's what you're going to do. You're going to advertise with us, but we're going to get that website up and running, meandjesse.com. And we're going to have it on YouTube Live. And later we'll plop it on Facebook. We'll let it drizzle down onto Facebook. And that's what we'll do. You know what I mean? But everybody also to check out Broadway and Grand in Spruce Grove. You might catch the one and only Jesse Martin there from time to time. More time than not. You will catch him there at Broadway and Grand.
Might not get to talk to me.
Which I think this week will be the time I christen Broadway and Grand. I think I'm going to make my way down there. I hear the draft choices are second to none. Oh, and yes. then I heard this. I've been hearing rumors through the streets that the smoke machine, the way you guys are smoking stuff over there, is just on a whole nother planet. So I'm going to make my way. I got to figure some way to make it this week, and I'm going to figure it out.
All right. Well, until next time, you're only old if...
yeah.
What? You quit. There you go.
Yeah. Don't quit.
That's it. Don't quit. That's Mark Pavelich. I'm Jesse Martineau. It's been the Me and Jesse podcast. See what Denver does tonight. I have a feeling it's not going to be good. We'll see you next time, everybody. Have a good week.
Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/meandjesse.